Hey friends, welcome back to the Hot Shop. I'm a glass blower. My name is David. So today, I think what we're gonna do is continue in the vein of my last glass, which was for a coupe glass for a Daiquiri. This is gonna be a fun pulled cup where we cut in and modify the bubble. Let's see what we get. I've not done this before. Wish me luck. Let's go get some hot glass. Cheers. Welcome back to the studio. Here we go again. So for those of you new to glass blowing, what we do to start almost every single thing is to gather glass. That just means, for glass blowers, gathering just means getting some glass out of the furnace. Behind those doors is about 300 to 400 pounds of molten glass that sits at about 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, probably a little more. This is one of our favorite tools. Believe it or not, it's just a big metal table. It's called a marver. And we use it to shape the glass and set up kind of a cold skin on the outside of it. That allows us to control where the bubble goes. And it allows us to chill certain spots so that the bubble doesn't want to blow down there. So that's what I'm doing right now, sort of chilling the front of it. So that you can have a cold skin on some parts and have other parts be hot and moving. Then I'm pulling a little point here so that I can have a place that's on center to grab this bubble and pull it. This is going to be a pulled cup. For all of you glass blowers, there's lots of different kinds of ways to make cups. People swing them out, but this is a pulled cup, and you'll sort of see how that works here. Blow a bunch, squish, compress, pull, and continue to blow. It's a very quick way of inflating and elongating a bubble all in one go with enough heat left over that you can still put in your constriction up near your blowpipe. That's going to be where we eventually break this thing off and open it up. One thing that you'll see a lot when you watch glass blowing is that there's all these intermediate steps that look like something else, so that could be easily a stem for a wine glass, like a nice white wine glass, but we're going to get rid of it. But it could easily be that's how you would do that. But we are looking for an entirely hollow object with no solid stem. So we are going to cut that off and proceed. So here we go. We're starting to establish where the waste is going to be, which is going to be the designated line between where the bowl ends and the stem/foot starts. In a way, this is sort of like backwards glass blowing, because I blew this bubble out really thin, and now I'm trying to recompress that glass and reshape it to be much more condensed, and it really doesn't want to. Also, frankly, I'm not sure this is the best way to do this, you know? I have a feeling that I'm missing a trick here. I'm pretty new to this game of blowing a bubble out and then cutting in a waste, like cutting it in and reshaping it. I've only done it a few times, and I've never done this specific one like this. This is one of the first ones I've done. I've done some of these since that I haven't recorded that have come out better than this. Which is what makes me think that this might not be the best way to do it. And a lot of it is because I am asking the glass to recompress itself, to thicken up and change its shape. And it really doesn't want to do that, because as soon as I touch it with that tool, it's chilling the surface, and the inside might still be hot, but it's chilling the surface, and it's not pushing evenly on that surface, which is why I have to turn so rapidly here. You can even see right there, I stopped turning for a second and I just dented the bubble. It's much easier to blow a bubble out, because when you blow air down through your blowpipe, the pressure is even on the inside of that and it's pushing outwards everywhere the same. So it's easy to keep it even and thin and on center. When you're pushing on it like this, it's a lot of turning, a lot of right hand and left hand coordination. And it's a much more difficult proposition than simply blowing it out. I will say, though, this style of working is bang in line with typical glass blowing in the sense that I am working in halves. If you're a new glass blower, one thing you should get your mind around, if you can, is the fact that you don't finish the entire shape on the blowpipe. That usually you focus on the bottom half of an object, establishing the base, establishing the setup, which indicates what the rest of the thing is going to do, but you usually finish the top while it's on the punti, which is another step that we're going to do here coming up in a second. For those of you who are new to glass blowing, up until this point, I've been kind of working this thing upside down, kind of backwards, because the part furthest away from me, which looks like the top, is actually the bottom. And in a second here, you're going to see me flip it around so that I can then address the top part, which was the part that was closest to me, and then will eventually be the part furthest away from me. For you glass blowers, my punties are super simple. I gather, hold it vertically, marver it really quickly. I might tip it up like I just did there, and then stick it. For those of you new to glass blowing, this is called a punti. It's just a tiny glue bit of glass on the end of a steel rod, and we use it to stick it on to the bottom of a piece so you can flip it around so you can have access to that opening. So that heat there looked really short, but I just edited it. It's about a minute, minute and a half. It's the longest heat of the entire process because that neckline was extremely cold. It had to be so that I could break it off, and I had to get heat back into it. And this is where we start, really demonstrating how much you work on something while it's on the punti. I'm thinning that neck out, and everybody is really surprised by this. They're like, whoa, you really pulled that. Yeah, if you want to thin out the glass, you really got to do it like this. You got to really be exaggerated in how you do that. And don't worry, all the excess glass that we cut off gets recycled, it gets thrown back in the furnace. So now I'm setting up this bubble to be a coupe. It doesn't look like a coupe. It looks like some sort of weird, votive, some sort of lamp, or some sort of decorative thing, like a weird Christmas tree. But I'm going to use this bent tube with a cone on the end. It's called a Sophieta, Sophie for short. You'll often hear it called a puffer. Sophieta literally translates as small bellows. If you're struggling to use the Sophie, a tip that I can give you is try to keep that opening less than an inch around. That allows you to really compress that bubble when you blow on it and exaggeratedly change the shape and thin the glass out. So you see we're slowly getting closer to a round top like a coupe. When I use that Sophie, I'm doing two things. I am both changing the shape of the glass and I'm thinning it. You'll hear people, really smart people, say the Sophieta is never used for thinning the glass, only for reshaping. Gonna call bullshit on that one. That is not true at all. One thing can have two benefits, and that's what's happening here. I'm getting two benefits out of one tool, both thinning out that glass, which is standard operational procedure for a lot of people using the Sophieta, and I'm reshaping. And you'll see that I continue to use that Sophie to reshape the top part of the bowl here. So yeah, again, it sort of looks like backwards glass blowing. I'm blowing this whole thing up on the punti, not on the blowpipe, but it is one of the better ways to do this and to really get that thin glass up there and to be able to control the shape that I want. It's always easier to heat the part furthest away from you, is basically what it comes down to. So this allows me to control where I'm putting that heat, be able to reshape this bowl, and keep the base set up the way I want it. And that's kind of one of the reasons why you work in halves when you blow glass. You set up the bottom because that's furthest away from you. You can control the heat, and you set up the top, etc., etc. Standard operational procedure. And here I'm finalizing the shape. Basically, once I got that blown out, from there, it's like a bowl, right? If you want to see how bowls are made, I have a pretty decent video on how to make bowls. I'll put a link And then I'll finalize the shape and I'll put it away. You'll notice watching my videos, I'm not that finicky about having something be absolutely perfect. Nobody's gonna sit there and spin your cup. If it's round enough, it's good enough, and you'll see that here when I show close-ups of this after we anneal it. Anyway, like and subscribe. Until next time when we get hot glass together, cheers.